to you the session to present your lecture.
So, thank you so much. At the outset, I would like to thank the management of the Arulmigu Palaniandavar College of Arts and Science, especially the department, PG department, and PG and Research Department of Zoology, for having invited me for this very important. I could say it is a very important day for the college because you are organizing an international webinar. It is especially on the contemporary issue, the impact of COVID-19 on environment. Of course, it is a need of the hour. So I like to congratulate the PG and Research Department of Zoology, in particular, especially the college management, Dr. P. Prabhakaran, the principal of the college, and the convener, the head, convener and the department head, Dr. C. KANDEEPAN sir, and the organizing members, especially the organizing secretaries, Mrs. GANGADEVI and Dr. TAMIZHSELVI and Mrs. AMUTHA, for the kind-heartedness in preparing all the programs all the way. And of course, dear participants, also I would like to extend my hearty welcome to one and all who are viewing my program and those who are going to be with me for the interactions. I'm very much delighted to be here. And this is the area which we want to look back again, because post COVID-19, which has brought a lot of challenges in our life. Not only challenges, but even opportunities. In most cases, we often talk about the impact, we often talk about the implications, we often talk about the effects, we often talk about its own polarization in our life. But here, I took this topic for opportunities for resilient recovery. As you know that we have already changed our lifestyle. Our routine has already been disturbed. We moved from classroom to Zoom and classroom to Google Meet. Of course, this is an opportunity. So in this point of view, I would like to focus all my points. What are the opportunities which has brought, and what could be the challenges in overcoming the problems what we have been facing. So here, dear friends, my presentation is going to be on this. I hope you are viewing my slides, backdrop, and then post COVID-19 and the economy and the opportunities. These are the three important areas which I am going to rest for the. I'm going to go over with these important areas for the coming 1 hour. And here, as it has been already pointed out during the introductory session of Dr. B. Prabhakaran, we have been facing plummeting demand for our own crisis. It is not only the health crisis. Pandemic COVID-19, though it is a health crisis, but it is not only that. There are a lot of things which we should understand. We have been challenged by different impacts across the different sectors. In our society, our health system, has its own primary, but at the same time, we got its own implications on different sectors. For example, our trade, commerce, even our economy. And last 2 days, I hope you have been deliberating on environmental status of the region prior to COVID-19 crisis. Now it has been changed. So now we are having a situation in that everything is disturbed. Dear friends, we have got disturbance across all the sectors. That's my point. The crisis has brought a lot of challenges that we have to recognize, we have to appreciate, we have to accept. That's not appreciable. We have to accept. So what these lessons, what we learned from the past? There are disasters we could manage, we can even mitigate. But this is a disaster. It is debatable. Still, it is debatable. It is a disaster. It is man-made or it is spontaneous. It is still debatable. But there are disasters in our life situation we might have come across even the previous centuries. But this is one of the worst disaster which made us to discuss, to think about different preparedness. What kind of preparedness we have to make? It's not only the main sector is about health, of course, but what are the remaining sectors? So that's what I am going to discuss about the disaster risk reduction and resilience building, how we are going to make. So it is also provides a very important area where we could see about our public sectors, our public services, and even global public goods, how it has been moved from one place to another place. So how to bring this recovery process Of course, as to me and most of the scholars in the globe, even UN agencies, they have been talking about it is more resilient to build an inclusive and sustainable system that are better placed to prevent in this kind of situation in the future. So what kind of system we need to have? An inclusive system. And a system, it is not only for today, it should have, for instance, we are talking about ICT. ICT enabled, advances. For example, let me say about artificial intelligence. So how many of us have access and usage? Even ICT, how many of us having access and the like? So we need to have inclusive system. Inclusive system means we need to include everyone in the system, and a system which is not only for a certain group of people, it has to include everyone in the system. That's not my point. So what we learned from the previous recovery process, it has been known that lack of coordination and even recovery process, and we have been exacerbated by even prevailing crises. Bringing business as usual, it is becoming a very difficult task, which may have its own different difficulties. So experts, they consider that this virus has brought not only worst scenario in health sector, but also in every different type of sectors. So which also brought equally opportunities. So I could say that the pandemic socioeconomic consequences have been especially, it is highly devastating, and it also deepening our poverty and inequality across our globe. So how it deepens? Even our sustainable development goal. Our sustainable development goal, it talks about life below water, life in the land, and about the planet, life in the planet. So life in the planet is now difficulty for human beings. Except human beings, all our living creatures are very much happy. Of course, to some extent, I think the geologists, they help me. I think to some extent it may also affect animals, but especially human beings, we are now in a constant threat. Now we have to secure SMS in the sense sanitizers, mask, and social distancing. We need to secure SMS. What does it mean by SMS? Sanitizers, mask, and social distancing. So the International Monetary Fund, it also brought a lot of suggestions to shape this scenario and to bring how to focus for this global vulnerability and ongoing climate and biodiversity emergencies. They also brought a lot of lessons for us. Hence, friends, I would like to say that this COVID-19 has not only brought threats, but also it brought opportunities. So let me see. Before going to that one, let me highlight some of the aspects about our life. So post-COVID-19 and life, especially the economic aspects of our life, how it has been challenged by this COVID-19. COVID-19 has us all, we know that it has got a spillover effect across the economies, regardless of the country's nature. It may be rich or poor country like Ethiopia, where I am working here, and it has got its own spillover effect throughout the world. It may be of a high income country or middle income country, upper middle income country, lower middle income country, but the effect is omnipresent. So normally, we academicians, we look a scenario by discussing before, in Tamil, I can say before Christu Prapadaku Munpu, Christu Prapadaku Pindu, Kimu, Kipi. We used to have in the scenario, we used to discuss. And even sometimes we discuss about Ulagaporukku Mun, Ulagaporukku Pin. Before Jesus Christ, and after Jesus Christ, that is number one. Number two is about before World War and after World War. Before Cold War, after Cold War. And contemporary situations before and after COVID-19, which has, with the new scenario, this emerging scenario, which made every one of us to have a new phenomenon. For life situation, it is about before and after COVID-19. So this is the new developing scenario which we have got due to this COVID-19. How these economic superpowers are struggling to secure the livelihood of the people. I mean, livelihood means securing the needs, requirements, demands for the people to have a safe and comfortable life. And the life with dignity and respect. So to have this livelihood, we have been struggling a lot, especially not only the countries like India, but at the same time, there are a lot of countries throughout the world, rich countries. They have been struggling. That is one scenario. Another one, why we close borders? Now, in globalized era, the world is like a village. The whole world is like a village. In the globalized era, we call it as global village. That means highly interconnected. We can transform any information. We can connect to anyone across the globe at any point of time. But now we are closing the border. We are focusing on self-reliant economy, and we are now reducing, connections. This is the first time in the history of the world. We are now focusing on our own indigenous aspects. So why? Why we are closing our borders? Why we are closing our territory? Not only international borders, regional borders, and even state borders, and that too, district borders, and even village, even streets, up to streets, street up to international level. We are now, containing. Now we are, now, what they call controlling. We are now reducing our own, movements. Why? This is, this is the one we normally do at the time of war. If there is a war, and only those days we close, that's what going on between India and China now. They close the territories. Problem. So not only this, the another scenario, let me highlight another scenario. It is about the dichotomy or the debate between environmentalist and economist. So environmentalist, especially the one who is conserving the ecology, he always wants to keep the ecology should be available. The ecosystem should be for all. It should be preserved. It should be conserved. But economists, what they used to promote, they promote economic growth, and they want to have more production. But ecologists, they used to say that, no problem, you can go for more production, but you need to pollute less, produce more and pollute less, and you need to secure and preserve not only for this generation, whatever the resources it is available now, it should be available for the forthcoming generation. In this regard, especially for sustainable development, I would like to take the quote from our late President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam Ayya. He said that one day, our grandchildren will see, one day our grandchildren will see water. Now we are seeing in water in bottle. So they may see in capsules. They may see water in capsules. So he said that, what is available for our grandparents, they saw water in river, they use water from the river, and our generation, we are seeing water in bottle. But we don't know in future, there may be tablets, like water tablets. If they are feeling hungry, the 4 or 5 tablets is enough. So even in India, we could see that water in pockets, water pockets. So this is the one which can tell us our own water we are purchasing. We are purchasing our own water for consumption. Even not only that, even I am told, since I have been working here in Ethiopia for the past 12 years, when I saw the case about in Mumbai, as well as in New Delhi, people were purchasing, air. Kindly mute the, I'm sorry, someone is not muting his. Please mute your mobile or your laptop, because I'm getting some echo sound. Sorry. In the cities like metropolitan cities like Mumbai and New Delhi, we could see that people have been purchasing water. Water is okay, but at the same time they are purchasing air. For example, 1 kilo air is about 500 rupees. So this is the situation. Our own natural resource, but we had been purchasing. But now this situation has been changed. This is one of the opportunity. And what does it mean by a self-reliant way of life? Now we started thinking about our own countries in the globe. Not only in India, each and every country, they started thinking about producing their own requirements by themselves in a self-reliant manner. For instance, with regard to PPE kits and the production of PPE kits and lab coats production, it has crossed 2 crores within 2 months' time. Nearly zero in the context of India, but we managed to produce this much within a short period of time. So this is the way which had been given from this COVID-19. And not only that, this is very clear from this simple production process. India can still be, reliant, self-reliant, and it can rely by its own and self-sustain itself in the production process. So self-resilience, it's one of the way in which we are now going towards the production process. So our world in general and the country in particular, we have been facing a lot of problems with regard to the economic contraction or bankruptcies or economic downturn or economic slack or owing to this lockdown. So now we are in the fifth phase of lockdown. At the same time, there are about relaxations. Still, we have been facing plummeting amount of contraction in our economic cycle, our business cycle. So in this connection, I would like to think about why this has happened. Less consumption, except food and the PPE. We have got a big problem of less consumption and low investment, especially some of the sectors are not having any investment at all, no investment across the sectors, and low level of productivity, low profit. Hence, we could see the high level of unemployment in the sector. And not only that, social safety measures. To overcome this current eventuality, our government has announced a stimulus package of worth about 20 lakhs crore by covering 5 major pillars of the economy that I will discuss about the latter part of my discussion. Here, most of the industries, they welcome this initiative. It is possible. Is it possible to live for a self-reliant economy? Or it may have its own critics from different scholars as well as different activists and different stakeholders. They have been criticizing this aspect of privatizing our space sector and even giving much privilege for MNCs and the like. So the question here is that the safety measures has been announced by the government, that is okay. At the same time, they opened room for the entry of private sector to offer services and to engage in activities in the government sector. So is it advisable? Is it advisable to privatize our military and space sector? Or why there are number of privileges have been announced for MNCs? So this is still a highly debatable question. But at the same time, other important aspects, what we could see the challenge with regard to our sustainable livelihood improvement strategies, especially when I say this, there are 4 types of capitals: human capital, natural capital, physical capital, and social capital. So human capital, we, the academicians, we are in charge for promoting this human capital, especially in terms of education and training. Of course, our football ground is not the screen. We are now sitting in front of screen and we are connecting together. It is good advantage. We can cover number of people, but at the same time, our football ground is about our classroom. Our classroom, we miss our ground. Rather, we are playing in front of the screen, but it has its own drawbacks as well as initially, if there is proper network, we can move, we can go ahead. But if there is lack of connectivity, like the person, I'm sitting from Ethiopia, I could also meet all our friends. It is a great opportunity, I feel. And investment in education, yeah, of course, we have been doing that and training. And at the same time, we move from classroom to Zoom or classroom to Google Meet and the like. This is all about human capital, investing in the energy of the people. It is about promoting, harnessing human energy. It is about the potential, bringing out the potential of the human people by investing in education and training and the like. And number 2 is about natural capital. Of course, now the nature is very happy. As I told in the beginning, nature is very happy, dustless, dust-free environment, and regeneration of ecology, less pollution. For instance, we could see the river Ganges, the crystal clear waters and water flow and low carbon dioxide emissions, like as I told you before, in the metropolitan cities like Mumbai and Delhi and the like. Then physical capital. This is one of the very important area we need to think about. Owing to this, unemployment, especially informal sectors, migrant laborers, they got, highly affected by this, physical capital drop. There is a widespread decline or drop in this scenario, unable to meet the labor cost and turnover, which leads to unemployment. And social capital, of course, the globally, internet users, 20 to 20% of the internet new users has been, increased throughout the world. So it is one of the very welcoming trend to have more social capital, but still in the process of digitalization, there is a gap in using the technology. What type of gap we have? We all know that the gap is about ICT literate and ICT non-literate. I don't want to say illiterate, ICT non-literate. One who has access and usage about ICT and one who do not have access and usage about ICT. In the digitalization process, we miss this and we fail to bring intergenerational equity in terms of cyber equity. Cyber equity in the sense ensuring intergenerational equity in terms of cyber equity. That means and there should not be any between the one who has access and usage about ICT and not usage about ICT. So how to overcome this? It is also one of the big challenge, overcoming digital divide and increasing the access to ICT for all citizens of the globe. So dear friends, the sustainable livelihood improvement strategies, here we have plenty of opportunities. How to tap this? Even our seminars used to be conducted in four walls within that two big rooms, but now we are using different electronic gadgets or advantages of different online portals we have been following. It is one of the advantage, but at the same time, even the technology. I would like to say about technological usage in the next part of my discussion. I'm going to talk about technological discussion. Before that, let us see how these export-import activities across the globe are being paralyzed. You know that owing to this COVID-19, the channels which has been trade and investments as well as movement of the people for different opportunities, the mobility has already been paralyzed and muted, almost muted. Now countries are almost going to the status of closed economy where the interaction ceases among the nations. So there are different sectors of the countries and their business which were at peak. Now they couldn't able to find market for the product, but there may be exemption for Chinese. Now Chinese, they imported, they export the virus from their nation, but still, they have been, exporting different goods and things to different part of the world. For instance, dear friends, since I have been here in Ethiopia for about 12 years, almost decade and 2 years, I could see that, even I have visited some of the coffee farms where some of my friends have been working as the managers of the farms, and they told me, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, tons of coffee are being dumped. They couldn't be able to find proper market at the international level. So coffee Arabica is one of the well-known coffee in the world. It is originated from area called Kaffa. They call it as the origin of coffee in the world is from this country, Ethiopia, coffee Arabica. But the country, they have been depending on developed countries for their market. The channel now it is being cheesed, it is being paralyzed. So they were unable to find the markets. So this is one of the another important area which we need to look at. And what about the different aspects? For example, the global economics. Almost all countries of the world, they realize that, the world after globalization will be different one. Yeah, of course, how to get a resurgence from these effects of, COVID-19, it is going to be a different one for the whole part of the world. Especially for the laborers, the life will be difficult. Even today, I am told that many of the companies in India and many of the organizations, they now stop reducing their employees, especially migrant laborers. They are returning back to their home country and from the abroad, as well as the countries like in India. From different states, the migrant laborers have started moving along with their kids, and then we are seeing all these scenarios in our day-to-day life. We have been very recently, of late, we have been observing this. So they also realize that the current spillover effects may stay. Most of the scholars, mostly development scholars, the members of development community, they have been witnessing that this spillover effect may minimum of 2 years and maximum of 5 years. So this leads for a new and varied strategies. And it also brings a lot of opportunities, new opportunities and new strategies. Of course, there may be, challenges, more challenges, but there are opportunities. So this kind of experiments among other countries may lead to the end of globalization process. Dear friends, during 1990s, our the former Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, he has announced a new economic policy which is mainly based on globalization. Now, this pandemic may end that globalization process, or it may ignite a new kind of new economic revolution at the global level. So the current initiative by our government of India, it promotes the 5 pillars of self-reliant economy. So of course, when I talk about self-reliant, it's not a new term to us. Since we have our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, he has been known for his Gram Swaraj, Swadeshi economy. That means the village has to have its own sufficiency in its production. It has to manage all the needs and requirements, demands by its own without depending on others. And the mixed economy aspect of the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, and he focused on self-dependent. It's not self-reliant, self-dependent economy. So when we see this, the focus has been changed, and even the opportunities which had been brought by the mixed economy model through Madam Mahatma Indira Gandhi, she has brought a lot of tremendous changes in our economy. It is about cereals production and security. Technological development has got increased, and even not only that, she is the one. Madam Mahatma Gandhi is the one. She has brought a lot of innovations in research and development. So during those days, even for example, this is the model. Initially, for example, if you see in 1990s, the growth rate was only 3.7. Now we are getting 8.0 plus growth rate. So this is the way our country has passed through. Why I'm telling about this historical underpinnings? It has its own meaning, because now we are talking about self-reliance and recovery. It is about opportunity. When you look back the opportunity, we have to go back our own success stories. Success, why we need to, I don't want to say history, rather success stories. So success will give you guidelines, right? So now let me dear friends, let me talk about the opportunities. What are the opportunities we have? So what type of opportunities we have got? So when I say these opportunities, it is about the new opportunities about securing food security, and then overthrowing this food insecurity. So it is first and foremost, there are a lot of management in the field of development management, which is my field. Let me take a lead from my field. It is about the basic amenities. It's all about food, clothes, and shelter. Now, we could see the order from this way. I have just narrated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hierarchy has already been challenged by this COVID-19. So the opportunity is all about to secure food and to promote agricultural productivity. And not only that, when we say agricultural productivity promotion, it mainly talks about usage of the innovative approaches and securing the labor market and creating more and more market access. I will come to that part later. Number 2, health. Friends, as there is no vaccination or medicine, as much as possible we have to prevent and take all prevention measures for this pandemic. The only medicine we have is aware about SMS, about sanitizers, mask, and social distancing. So food, health. Number 3 is about sanitation. So it is all about, it is not only our own sanitation aspects, it is about personal as well as community. So this is the very first time we are very happy that our neighbor should be very hygienic, very neat and clean. And we are always caring about our neighbor. This is the first time in the history of the world we are very much keen about our neighbor, our surroundings, and not only that, our community. our locality, it has to have the safe and hygienic practices. That is very important. The government across the globe as well as in India, they have been trying the level best to ensure the sanitation at their most level best. And the fourth one is about opportunities to have more network. And it is challenging. Yeah, it is also, we can also consider, these are all both challenges and opportunities. But opportunities, what I want to say, we have to tap, we have to secure how we are going towards these things, right? But with regard to food, the government have announced safety measures and health sectors. Of course, comparatively, our context is far better than the global pandemic as well as the global area, as well as when we compare with other regional states of India, our context is far better. And sanitation, of course, it is also very much appreciable. And networking is also a very important area where we need to give much concentration for this, because now we have got another mode of operation. It is about digitalization. At networking are moving towards technological innovations, or promoting more and more artificial intelligence. This artificial intelligence or network-based community, they have to have more interactions. That interaction should be productive. In general sense, we use networks for different purposes, but how productive we are using it matters. How tangibly we are using the network. And even technological innovations, for example, artificial intelligence, that is very much appreciable. If you could tap the opportunity of artificial intelligence, technological innovations, for example, our drone camera, we know very well that our police, with due respect, I would highlight about our police personnel and their role in containing and controlling the pandemic. With due respect, I would like to say they had been using the drone cameras for controlling the adults, adolescent kids. They want to play crickets and all in the different plot of Tamil Nadu we have been seeing. But the same drone, it could be used for agricultural purpose. For example, for instance, spreading fertilizers and pesticides. That can be an advantage. And not only that, in urban area centers, we have been using these technological innovations for distributing pizza, burger, and the like. The same thing, for medicine supply. If there is an emergency, by using drones, we can, export. We can also transport medicine from one place to another place. This is being practiced in Ethiopia as well. So the limitation of the kilometers, like around 150 to 200 kilometers length, they are just transporting the medicines. If there is an emergency, by using drones, they can transport. So likewise, technological innovations, we need to tap this opportunity. And this digital divide, until otherwise, if we don't bridge the gap between the one, as I told you, ICT access, ICT non-access community. So the one who has, for example, our grandparents, of course, some of them, they may have access to Facebook, Twitter and all, but those who are educated, but even then, using WhatsApp, those who are around age 75 and 80, they may not have that much intimacy towards these electronic gadgets. So narrowing the gap or bridging the gap between digital, the one who has access to digital gadgets and the one who is not having access, it is also very need of the hour. But that ensures in turn, which ensures cyber equality. Cyber equality is the one this pandemic has insisted us to ensure this. It is one of the very important aspect which we need to tap. It may be an opportunity as well as it is a challenge. By the way, in its acute form, it is a challenge. But if you convert this challenge into an opportunity, and it will bring equality. Then labor market and labor force. There are lot of sectors which has already been paralyzed, as I told you. Even this is very much visible in terms of informal sectors. Informal sectors are the sectors
இருங்க ஒரு வெபினார்ல
where
இருக்கேன்
we
முடிச்சுட்டு
can
கூப்பிடுறேன்
find workers, we
வெபினார்ல
can find investors. They don't report their income to tax authorities. These are all known as informal sectors. They hide themselves from the local revenue authorities not to pay tax. They evade tax. They avoid tax. Tax avoidance, tax evading will be there among informal sectors. So if you could see, like, street vendors, the one who is selling something on the street, and rural artisans, agricultural workers, and other informal sectors. These are the example of informal sectors. So if you compare now how we are securing the livelihood of informal sectors, of course, the package which has been announced by the government, which tried to secure. I don't want to go in detail about the package. It is all about economy, infrastructure, and the like, and even a lot of opportunity for investment and the like. So in India, for example, 14% of our informal sector workers have lost their job during the last 2 months. Previously, it was used to be only 7%, the unemployment among informal sector. But now it has been leaped up to this level. Then next is about very important sector. It is about the backbone of our own economy. It is about agricultural sector. So why I am just talking about agriculture sector? In this sector, we need to tap the opportunities. It is about promoting more and more access and supply chain for our own farmers as well as producers and businessmen. Farmers, producers and businessmen. So these are three important sectors. They are known as agents of development. Agents of development in economy in any country, farmers, producers, and businessmen. So how to secure the their own sorry, how to secure their own interest? It is very important. So it is about a simple chain of maintaining the value chain. For instance, if a farmer or producer he produce mango in particular village, he may sell only for 2 rupees or 5 rupees, maximum of 10 rupees. But the same mango, if it goes for a juice making company, they may get, for one mango, they may make 5 packets of juice or 3 packets of small 100 ml juice. It may bring them about 150 rupees. So from producer to end user, how to secure these opportunities? It is also need of the hour. But now everything is paralyzed, but we have to know, slowly we have to know, recover this process. Then next sector, our important, for especially countries like India, we have a lot of religious places for tourism and medical. Especially we are having advanced next to developed countries. Now we are a newly industrialized country. We are the category of newly industrialized country. Especially we are also part of big countries where we have advancements in medical aspects as well as the healthcare centers. And even people from Ethiopia, they started to flowing to India to different locations like Coimbatore as well as Bangalore and even Allahabad, New Delhi for medical, especially AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science and the like. So for getting treatment. So how to tap this, how to resurgence these things also one of the opportunity, and we need to look back again. And the last but not the least, but I would like to focus, friends, on these aspects. It is about respond challenges. So what could be the challenges for our response? We are trying to, all along, we are trying to promote opportunities, and government has been working for promoting opportunities, but still we are lagging behind, getting this. It is because of our preparedness or our management strategies, especially disaster risk management strategy or COVID risk management strategies. So if we propose something, there is also, if we propose X, XX should happen, but XY may happen. That means, our strategy is not, practicable. Sometimes why this is happening? It is because of, not having a clear plan. So when I say plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So proper planning should be there. Let me repeat again. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning, it matters for mitigating our disaster risk. And even unclear disaster strategies, it is also there. And the third one, so second one, I think it is double time it is repeated. Even we have a different type of what you call inequalities. The world is not a level playing field where we have different type of equalities across the globe between developed and developing countries, even among developing countries like Asia, Africa, Latin America, where we have got inequality in terms of income, inequality in terms of access to poverty. Poverty of India is not the same as the poverty of Ethiopia. We have vast number of inequalities in terms of political system, geographical inequalities. Especially geography. One part of the world is blessed, another part of the world is cursed. Why I'm saying this? Water. Water is a natural resource. But the countries like Somalia, Kenya, where the people are dying due to lack of water. But other places, there are plenty of water, like Bangladesh, Pakistan, is always flood. So how we are going to narrow this gap? We need to have proper, inequalities. Especially in the countries like India, we have socio-economic inequality. In terms of, as I told you before, there are cyber inequality, which we are talking about now. But before that, if you look at economic inequality, it is about income, especially migrant laborers, informal sectors. How to address these things? It is a big challenge we have been facing, and governance challenges. It is about the policy, the planners. They have been working out to bring different policies and programs, strategies and plans, and even packages, and even a lot of stimulus packages to narrow these inequalities. But still we have been challenged by this process and globalization. Of course, as I told you before, what does it mean by globalization? Printed in India using Australian paper, German ink, and Japanese printer, and made from America. So printed in India using Australian paper, German ink, and the machine from UK, and then the ink from America. What we can sense from this definition? It says about the definition, which clearly talks about highly interconnectedness. Highly interconnectedness or sharing of ideas, sharing of knowledge across the globe. So since we have been depending on each other, for our trade, for our brain trains. You know very well about the aspect of brain train, having educated in developing countries and working for developed countries. Especially our software professionals, those who are working in the developed countries. So still we have been facing a plummeting challenges with regard to globalization. And as I raised before, this globalization may end or it may bring new kind of force because it has its own forces: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal pressures. So which in fact it connects all the economies together. But owing to this COVID-19, this has been what they call disintegrated. There are political forces by having different type of focus. Economic system is already under decline or recession. It is looking for recovery, and now we are moving towards recovery aspects. And then social aspect, it is being disturbed, and our education system is also being paralyzed, and the health is also being under question. And technological aspect, here we could take a lot of lessons from the technology and how to take the advantages. Of course, technology has both equally, it has both advantages as well as disadvantages. But in general, I can say technology makes our life happier, easier, and healthier, and then safer life. And it makes rapidity in our all activities. And not only that, even environmental aspects. Of course, environmentalists are getting a new birth. What I can say, a new type of what you call flourishness among environmentalists. They have been arguing that environmental ecology is boosting now. Ecology is boosting. Like we have been trying to boost our immunity, but ecology has its own immunity now, and the living creatures are happy except our own fellow human beings. And the legal aspects, of course, there are a lot of restrictions are being now strengthened. So these are the responses to the challenges. And in general, dear friends, let me just to highlight about some of the areas where we could see about the importance of digital governance as well as the general way of life. And if you could see opportunities COVID-19 and beyond, here we have got a system. It is known as digital governance, which makes a life very easily and comfortable. At the same time, there are also other aspects which I am going to discuss. Number one is about societal uncertainty. how to tackle this. It is if you manage properly the societal uncertainty, it is about shocking things in our society. If you could be able to tap the opportunities, and we can properly, that's what planning is a central point when we plan to maintain a societal uncertainty. So enables in maintaining societal uncertainty, it is one of the very important aspects. Number two is about equilibrium in the changes in the ecology. So how to maintain the balance? As I told you before, produce more and pollute less. So you can produce more and you need to pollute less, and conserve and preserve the environment or ecology for the forthcoming generations. What we have today, it should be available for the forthcoming generation. That's what the Brandon in 1899, when they planned for sustainable development, they have been arguing. And even today, we have a 2030 agenda. Agenda 2030, it is about sustainable development goals, which also insist about these things. And changes in the lifestyle. Of course, dear friends, it is no way, it is unavoidable. It is forcible to our lifestyle, but still we have to. But many of our friends, I know that they go late for night sleep, and they wake up late in the morning, but they miss their exercises, and they haven't changed their lifestyle, and they take breakfast at 11 o'clock, and lunch at 4 o'clock, and dinner at 11 o'clock. It is not supposed to be our lifestyle. But how to change this? If you change, you can bring changes in our lifestyle. Will create a comfortable life, a routine life. The new normal life may be possible by changing the life. So, dear friends, it's my humble request. So please return back to new normal life, and rethinking client and reshaping education and training. Of course, now all the education institutions throughout the globe, even here today, we have been insisting on rethinking the clients. Our own customers, we have to keep, and we have to keep our own customers. For academicians is about our own students. So we have to keep intact, and how to reshape education, reshape our curriculum, how to conduct Viva Voice through online. I'm told that in many of the universities, even yesterday I sent a report to some university in India. They told me that they have started conducting the Viva Voice through online. It is about rethinking clients and reshaping education and the like. Enterprises, now they are open for competitions. They are trying to compete, but still they are under question mark. And global internet expansion, it is also one of the very important area where we have been trying to provide a lot of connectivities. Even countries like the poor countries, the internet usage has already been increased owing to COVID-19. Science and technology, of course, we need to talk about, we need to have a clear eye on the innovations and online mode, as well as advantages of science and technology. Besides, above all, food is very important. Securing food is very important, but at the same time, we are now in a smart society. We are now living in a smart community where we could see a simple, moral, accountable, and responsive and transparent communities there through technology. Technology makes a life simple, moral, accountable, and reliable, as well as transparent. So, and above all, promoting research and development is very important to have the resilience recovery in our liquid life. So, with this, dear friends, let me thank every one of you for your patient listening. I have my presentation here. I am welcome for all your critical comments and questions, if any. I am just ending now. Thank you.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Sir, sorry for the interruption.
Hmm.
Due to some network problem, I would not cover your profile. Sivakumar, sir.
No problem, madam. No problem. It's okay.
Take every student, please. Sir, Dr. Sivakumar sir has been serving as a member of the Board of Studies and as an external examiner for the following Ethiopian universities, namely Jimma University, Ampo University, Wolaita Sodo University, Arba Minch University, Dirla University, and Civil Service University. He has been serving as the Board of Examiner for the adjudication of PhD thesis of the following universities of India: namely University of Madras, Gandhigram Rural Institute Deemed University, Annamalai University, Bharatidasan University, Bharatiyar University, Alagappa University, and Periyar University. He has also been serving as a secretary of the school graduate committee and serving as a standing member in staff promotion committee of the school. He has published 5 books and 39 articles in record journals. He has made presentation in 25 international conferences, 10 national programs, and 20 regional seminars and conferences, and 35 invited talks in India and abroad. He has been serving as a consultant for the international agencies like Czech Republic, Mercy Corps, World Vision Ethiopia, and collaborated with them for the preparing project proposals, monitoring, and evaluation activities, including the preparation of log frame. Sir, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
So now the floor is open for a
Now-
discussion.
Any question from participants, please?
Any questions from participants?
Sir,
Yes, please.
Tamizhselvi ma'am.
Yes,
Yes. Any questions from participants?
participants ask your questions in the chat box.
Sir, there is a question.
Audio.
Please, madam.
Sir, for this COVID-19,
Okay.
cause impact on every sector,
Yes, okay.
along with the health, the other economy and the environmental like that.
Yes, yeah.
In what way the government should take actions, and what is the individual responsibility to overcome these crises in different fields?
Okay, very nice, very nice. Very interesting question from the audience. I'm very much delighted about this question. It is actually, in fact, this question is a very timely question. What I want to say, the impact has, its own presence in every aspect of the sectors. How to overcome this? It is about abiding the rules of the government. Each and every individual in a society, we must obey and we must abide what government dictates, because they are moving with a plan. For example, a shop owner, if they are allowed to open the shop throughout the day, open, or if they are allowed to open only up to 2 p.m., they must do that. Otherwise, there may be, as the disease is highly contagious, highly contagious, we must be very careful. According to the government instructions, every sector has to abide. At the same time, each and every sector has to look for their own opportunities and their own advantages by government measures. So what government is being announcing every day, they have to watch keenly, and accordingly they have to obey the rules of the government. At the same time, they have to tap the opportunity. So, for instance, small, micro, and medium, small-scale industries has been given lot of stimulus packages by the government. So how to apply for that? They should know about the know-hows, and they need to consult the important officials, authorities of the government, so that they can get access to. That's what perfect answer for this question. It is a complete and the whole answer for your question, I suppose.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, one more question. What about the economy in India and the world after COVID-19?
Of course, a very, very interesting question. Very wonderful question. In fact, the global pandemic has brought a lot of implications on almost all walks of our economy. Like, if you could see, starting from the year 1929 up to 1939, the period was known as Great Economic Depression. It was the depression which we refer still now in the last century. It is one of the worst form of depression, where almost all sectors has got declined. It affected agriculture, it affected construction, industry, formal, informal sector. Every sector is being affected. So if you take Ethiopia, where I have been working here, it is one of the least developing countries in the world, where there is no lockdown. There is no lockdown because the Prime Minister himself, he told that if we lock down, you may not get access to your own livelihoods. I mean, the food may not be available because in the country where many of the people, they don't have house. Even if they have house, but they don't have any access to different opportunities for employment. So now what they are dictating that you have to be safe and you have to be careful. But your question is very interesting question. It is about how we may have sustainability in terms of the global impact as well as the Indian context.
Yes.
So it is all about how we are going to lead this sustainability. It is about abiding the rules of the government. That is number one. Number two is about rethinking about self-reliant economy. Yeah, even for example, in those days, as we know that we had been having a lot of collaborations for our production process, but now we have stopped collaborating. We started for example earlier Bajaj and the other companies, the Hero, Honda, TVS, Suzuki, and the like, we had companies. But now TVS is separate and Suzuki is separate. Honda is separate, Hero is separate. So in this scenario, we can take a lesson from this kind of our own self-reliant way of doing things, which can promote the things. So that's why the government is giving much concentration for self-reliance, self-sustenance, which will bring self-esteem and equality for all. This is my question. Answer, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Another question. What about the China economy, sir? But during COVID period, I had a news. China purchased nearly 1/3 share from American companies and other broader companies. So, what about the China stand?
Chinese, sir, actually they exported the virus from their nations to the whole part of the world. But the same Chinese are getting an advantage, comparative advantage. What I could say is a comparative advantage for China. Chinese, during this COVID-19, we are all struggling with the virus, the presence of virus. But Chinese, they are saying not only they are investing in share markets, at the same time, they are trying to stabilize their economy by securing the even the Wuhan. They already started new normal life. But at the same time, the Chinese, they already sent 3 satellites.
Okay.
We are struggling. We are struggling. But Chinese economy, it is in the good progress.
Oh, I see.
Even I will. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Sir. Welcome.
Sir,
Please.
Yes. Any other questions?
sir, one question from one of the participants.
Okay.
In US, the COVID-19 affected peoples are highest in the world, but
Yes.
the US market is going higher day by day. Why? What is the reason?
Very good question. Yeah. Very, very interesting question. But in US, even though the pandemic is very severe, they are number one in the world. The US is the number one in the world. But what is the secret behind is that they still operate their own business. They still operate many part of the US, even in New Zealand. even in New York, like New Zealand, they also wanted to have all the business because New York is the hot place, center of the business. So they don't want to leave their business. They don't want to leave their customer. But most of the cases, they have online, digital marketing. But in US context, many of our friends are living there in US. They used to tell me they're ordering everything through online. They're getting all the foodstuffs through online, but suppose they are supposed to wait for 3-4 days. So since they are networked everything, that's what I was discussing with you about these things. Network, it helps them to keep their economy at the same pace of the progress, the growth rate. They are trying to secure the same pace. This is possible answer for the question. Please, ma'am.
What you said that they are online purchasing, online ordering, like that you said.
Yes.
In this system is effective in multi-faceted peoples are there in India.
Okay.
If it is possible in India, this system, the networking system.
Yes, madam. It is possible, madam. It is very much possible. And we could see, there are a lot of companies. They are getting advantage through this online marketing, retailing. They have been now working through digital marketing. It is also one of the area investments are flourishing every day, every year, and every month. We could see a lot of companies are emerging. Still, they are able to survive. They are able to survive in the competition, but it has its own uncertainty. If you fail to popularize your online portal, you are going to have no loss. Profit may not be there, but the way how you are meticulously planning for the business, it really matters. For example, we know very well Amazon India, Flipkart, everybody knows.
Yes,
Even
yes.
small kids, we know very well. Unlike that, there are also other companies. They are trying to promote Indian-based companies like Tata. Tata has already started.
Yes.
It is a good opportunity. It is a good opportunity. Still, it is a good opportunity for recovery.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Any other question?
Sir, Kandeepan sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
with vote of thanks, sir.
Okay. Proceed.
We request Mrs. GANGADEVI, Assistant Professor, to propose vote of thanks.
Good evening to all the participants here. It is my privilege to have been asked to vote of thanks for this third day of the 3 days webinar. At first, I would like to thank Lord Almighty to provide us an instinct and a drive force to arrange this webinar. Now I would have immense pleasure to thank our management providing an opportunity to organize this program. Then I express our gratitude to our enthusiastic principal, Dr. P. Prabhakar sir, for awakening the passion and the desire to support our department, all walks of life, its success. Next, I express my sincere thanks to the captain of our department, Dr. C. KANDEEPAN sir, for his support, encouragement, and guidance of this webinar. Thank you, sir. Then I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to today's resource person, Dr. S. Sivakumar sir, Associate Professor and Coordinator, PG Program, School of Governance, and Coordinator, PG Program, School of Governance and Development Management, Havasa University, Havasa, Ethiopia, Northeast Africa. Next, I heartily extend our gratitude to the participants of various institutions of this webinar and for their active participation in this event. Finally, I express my gratitude to our department staff and for technical support to the technical team the Karupusamy and Mohan. And also I thank our beloved students, Mr. Surya and Mr. Krishnan. Here I would like to thank Mr. Udayakumar, alumni of our department, for providing high-speed network connectivity for this webinar. Even though there is an interruption occur in these all three sessions, for the participants, so our organizing team say sorry to the participants, even though you participants patiently you are tolerate all the interruptions and you patiently you make this event great success. Thank you one and all.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir. Wonderful
Thank you so
session,
much.
sir. Excellent presentation. Very informative and very useful seminar webinar, sir, for all.
Thank you, sir, Dr. C. Kandeepan, sir. Thank
Okay,
you so
sir.
much for the opportunity.
Okay, sir.
Really, you are championing this, 3 days in an international webinar. I'm very happy to be a part of your mission. Thank
Yes,
you so
sir.
much.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much
Thank
for
you,
the
sir.
opportunity. Thank you for my sister AMUTHA as well as other organizers like GANGADEVI madam and Arulmigu madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Very nice, very informative.
Sivakumar sir,
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
madam.
Sivakumar sir,
Madam, please, madam.
sir, very clear presentation and it is very informative and it will useful for the participants, I believe. Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for your honest reflection. Thank you so much. I'm very much happy to be part of your missions. Webinar. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Gandhivan sir,
Yes,
can I
sir.
leave, sir?
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, in this event, we have rectified all the technical difficulties. But each and every session, we have some other disturbances, and also through internet and such things are interfere the session. But this session is totally free from interference.
Yeah, even I was thinking about that one, but in Ethiopia, sir, yesterday they bifurcated from like Andhra, Telangana. They
Okay.
bifurcated the region into 2 states.
Okay.
But
Okay.
what happened? And I was just worrying about internet connectivity. They slowed down yesterday.
Oh,
Internet connectivity. But today it's okay, sir. I managed to overcome this.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
very much. Thank you. Thank you,
to
sir.
collaborate with you. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.